we are live again. Congratulations. We are now live. एक बार
The first message I want to give out is if you're watching this, I'm sorry for you.
देखो that is very relevant. If you're watching this तो आप लोगों को शायद पता ना हो कि we just spent like a good amount of time figuring out कि क्या करना है और कैसे ये सब figure out होगा. Two tech savvy people जिसमें से एक बंदा इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर है.
Abdullah is like my dad. He likes to mention the engineering part every time.
अबे यार.
So, as much as I try to dissociate from the image, it just keeps on popping up like one of the cookies on Linity's website. Now, I've shown my true colors that all I do is plug in marketing.
यस तो
So,
ठीक है ना. देखो उसमें देर इज नो शेम इन दैट. मैं दिल से ये
yeah.
बात मानता हूँ कि देर इज नो शेम इन दैट.
I can see that the first 30 seconds are about to be over, so you should welcome anyone who's watching.
या इफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई रियली रियली अगर तुम यहाँ तक पहुँच गए आई रियली रियली वुड लाइक टू आस्क यू क्या कर रहे हो जिंदगी के साथ.
We've beaten our ads retention rate if you've stayed till now. So, so
Oh my God.
it's good for us that you're listening.
It's very
And
very good for us. And by the way, Arsalan, do you want to tell people कि do you want to tell people कि LMAO का full form क्या है?
yeah, I think that's a
can.
great start to the whole initiative.
Hmm.
It's like a very thought-provoking discussion that me and my co-founder, Mr. Abdullah Sarkar, had, that we should do something called Laugh My Anxiety Off, because we think that depreciating humor is all mental health professionals
Wow.
need to
That
come together and fix the world crisis.
that is one way to not get cancelled, Arsalan. Round of applause for you इस मामले में. एंड मैं बस वेट कर रहा हूँ कि वो मैक ओएस वेंचुरा वाला जो बीटा टेस्टिंग वाला फेज़ है वो बाहर आ जाए ताकि आई कैन यूज़ द आईफोन एज द कैमरा फॉर दिस. क्या ही बेहतरीन शक्ल दिखेगी और हमारे फ्लॉज अच्छे से देखेंगे. हाउ आर यू सिटिंग इन एन आर्टिफिशियल लाइटनिंग एंड स्टिल लुकिंग गुड?
Uh, it's called lack of self-image.
क्या कह रहे हो अरसलान? क्या कह रहे हो अरसलान? ये लाइटिंग से फिक्स नहीं हो सकता.
Yes. So, like if I talk about the task that Abdullah has assigned me for the week, tomorrow I'm supposed to make a video of myself that is supposed to motivate people to go for therapy. And I just know there'll be one kid who says, "Isko therapy ki zarurat hai, humse zyada hai."
Ouch.
So,
देखो
so
यार,
I'll be like, yeah,
I think those kind of conditions just pop up in all situations, and I don't think you can really avoid them, to be honest.
definitely,
You
definitely.
you can't really avoid those kind of situations because let's be honest, हम लोग भी young adults ही हैं, you know. That's
Yeah.
actually part of the whole deal कि हम लोग young adults हैं.
I think this is what makes the platform different as well. Okay, the whole Gen Z aspect that we bring to it. I mean, we have not really talked about the platform in public that much because we were busy building. हमसे figure out हो रहा था वही process. अब finally pipeline has been built and like we're moving towards sales and conversions. And Abdullah keeps asking कब हम billionaire बनेंगे. But obviously that is like much into the future. Like, but it feels good to, I mean, wonder in a way that
हो गया.
what makes it important. So to be honest, like we're not some venture capitalist backed 5-time founders जिसने मतलब 30 mistakes के 15 post छाप रखे हों जिन पे 1000 likes. So
तुम्हें पता है
so
ना अरसलान कि you are actually multiple startup founder if you think about it.
yeah, I mean, I tried and I failed and I'm trying again. And product adoption is what makes me try again. So it makes us like, what is PMF and how can we do mental health sales are some questions that have been like in my mind for the past few days because as I try to explore how to help people navigate this space better, it makes us wonder, what can we do to make their lives easier? So I throw the question back to you, like, as Gen Z founders, what do you think? Like, what can we do to make this more welcoming?
Welcoming. The practical answer is other reels banao. But I mean, it doesn't really make sense, you know. I never knew
Yeah,
before.
Neil Patel says, "Go for it, go
नील
for it,
पटेल
guys."
राइट बट इफ यू थिंक अबाउट इट nobody tells you this जब आप entrepreneurship में आते हैं अरसना इस वक्त सोच रहा है कि साले मैंने बताया था ठीक है लेकिन
No, I
लेकिन
did not.
but if no you did say you know marketing is a lot of it but when I hear marketing what I hear is Google ads yeah SEO
Yeah,
and stuff like that
yeah,
nobody tells you कि reels are a must for you it's not even a question now
yeah,
until and unless you have had like a very large physical presence for example let's just say Haldiram's right Haldiram's
yeah,
probably does not need to make a lot of reels because they're already very established same with KFC perhaps right Zomato at this stage does not need to
yeah,
make a lot of reels but if you're a small creator or if you're a small service provider or you have a small business then it's absolutely essential for you otherwise the algorithm is just gonna wreck you algorithm बोलेगी मेरे को
yeah.
ऐसे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा how many people are engaging with your content we're not just not gonna do it and तभी you know at one point of life हम लोगों को लगता है reels बहुत ही ज़्यादा useless हैं but now they are the main pivot around business models इस वक्त जितना भी चल रहा है
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to deep dive a bit into how this space has evolved actually. Like, I know that a little while ago, how Instagram announced that it is not a photo sharing app anymore.
yeah
So it actually said in their one of their press releases that it's focusing on short form video content. So the whole shift from the post based, like picture based algorithm to a short video based algorithm is something that is really interesting because you might have observed that कुछ दिन पहले तक तुम्हारे पिक्चर्स पे 200 लाइक आते थे अब 140 आ रहे हैं
नहीं यार सलाम
सो
मेरी फोटो पे हमेशा 100 लाइक आते थे उतने ही आ रहे हैं
okay, I
just the way
mean,
life is
what you want to talk about? Sandoful Pasivi, but
Sandalwood Pussy. So Sandalwood Pussy, for those of you who do not know, is actually a running gag between Arsalan and I. And that's actually from a song from Faris Shafi, the rapper. और उसका कौन सा गाना है अरसलान? It's Introduction, right?
introduction, yeah,
Yeah,
introduction.
brilliant song. अगर like you know after watching this stream, if you're watching this और आप अभी तक देख रहे
We'll,
हैं,
we'll put a card up here.
I
Farish
can't put a
Shafi.
card up here. Why? मतलब how am I supposed to do that? I'm not a magician.
Yeah, that
Look it
that
up
that's
again.
in post processing. We'll put a card. Sorry, Abdullah doesn't know that right now. I can we can circle back to
Wait,
this
let me
later.
check if I can.
You
Does
cannot
this
do it
show?
right now. I think. I don't think you can do that.
Oh, no, I can, right? So, what is it called? Sandoful Pasivi.
No,
No, no,
no,
it's
it's
called
called introduction.
Introduction by Faris Shafi.
Yep.
I don't know why मेरा वो जो है कहते हैं YouTube it's showing me कि how to get a Korean visa. So, but this is the song, everyone.
Oh man.
Yep. Although if you think about it, South Korea has very strong restrictions because of the virus. I'm not gonna say its name on YouTube. मैं censor हो जाएगा वरना.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
एक तो stream में
Moving
वैसे
on to not get rejected on another platform. So sudden change of topics.
Yeah.
Why do you want to laugh your anxiety off? Like why?
Why would you not want to laugh your anxiety off? कौन रखना चाहेगा? High functioning भी नहीं है मेरी anxiety.
Oh man, yeah, makes me wonder as well. But like, how do we want to make this interactive for someone who's watching? Like,
यार
what do you
if
want to talk about?
if you're actually honestly like watching this तो आप live chat में कुछ भी डाल सकते हैं because I can't see if there are even if there is even a single person watching this to be honest but I would say कि the reason we kept this name laughing my anxiety off was very simple and that was कि वही LMAO के अंदर बैठ रहा था पहला दूसरा
Oh man.
I use the word anxiety because that is a very prevalent mental problem at least in India and मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं you either see manifestations of it or compensations of it so आपको खास तौर से Indian women में I would like to argue that 4 out of 5 Indian women suffer from anxiety और if I'm being liberal, if I'm being conservative, I think I'd say 3 out of 5, right? Because इतना ज़्यादा है, so you either see a compromise in their nature, like उन्होंने कोई defense mechanism बहुत strongly employ कर रखा है, or you see the full-fledged manifestation of panic attacks and anxiety attacks in them. It's supremely high, especially amongst minority women, right? So I believe that anxiety can be a word that resonates with people, and now it's, it's you can also see it in men as well. So anxiety and depression दोनों इतने ज़्यादा rise पे, I think they're the world leaders in terms of mental illness. उससे ज़्यादा I don't think किसी का कुछ और होगा.
I think personally, I mean, I don't resonate with the whole facts because I have not read them. And after like a word of mouth can be double checked. I don't know 4 out of 5 or not.
हाँ नहीं डेफिनेटली, अरे ये तो मैं एस्टिमेट दे रहा हूँ भाई, मुझे मत कोट करो, तुम लोग क्यों रिलाई कर रहे हो मुझ पे फालतू में.
Just a heads up, guys.
हाँ
इसका fact check चाहिए हमें.
यस प्लीज़,
So
देख लेना अपने एंड से. मतलब मैं अपने आउट ऑफ माई एनेक्डोटल एक्सपीरियंस से बता रहा हूँ कि इट्स सुप्रीमली हाई. लाइक इफ़ यू गो
yeah.
टू फोर्टिस और इफ़ यू गो टू मेदांता, राइट, एंड आप जनरल ओपीडी में जाके बैठ जाइए बस, राइट, most of the people there, they will have their physical diagnosis, yes, but they'll also have some sort of mental problem as well. You can argue कि वो जो mental problem है exhibit हो रही है वो उनकी physical diagnosis की वजह से हो रही है, but there are some people out there, especially in the lower socioeconomic rungs, जिनके अंदर physical correlates नहीं मिलते किसी illness के, like their tests come up clean but they're so anxious, उनको लगता है उनका दिल बहुत तेज़ी से धड़क रहा है. So when you hear these kinds of symptoms, uh, as a psychology student, you immediately start to wonder ki, hey yaar, what if it's only mental. And when I say only mental, I don't mean to degrade mental problems. I instead mean ki, perhaps there is another route for this. And it's very weird क्योंकि हमारा जो platform है, even after everything, my sister has left her alarm open and now you can hear OnePlus ka sound. Let me just go and
Oh man.
close this off.
Yeah. ASAP. So, Madhav, meanwhile, like since the whole entertainment Kabura has been put up on me now that Abdullah is out of frame. So I'd like to just touch upon like what anxiety actually means to me because I think that a large part of trouble for anyone experiencing anxiety is like figuring out when it gets unhealthy. So, I mean, personally, like, I come from a competitive environment where every day I need to work hard and you need to upskill yourself. You've got like trouble in your personal space, you've got work balance, boundary issues. Your boss just keeps texting you till 12 a.m. Your co-founder can keep texting you at 12 a.m. or 10:30 p.m., which is right now most probably. And yeah, so it is interesting to understand when does it get unhealthy. So that is like where my question lies, to be honest, like to identify if it's getting too much for you and how to identify that healthy boundary and how to know when to seek help is the best thing to know while seeking help.
Yeah, I've seen
So
that anxiety के लिए everybody gets anxious at some point in their lives. It's actually required to be anxious at some points in their life. But some people have
exactly.
unhealthy anxiety और उसको हम कहते हैं clinical anxiety, जिसको हमें treat करना होता है, right? So
Okay.
in terms of clinical anxiety, जहाँ तक हम बात करें, it is the unnecessary, over-exaggerated fear of something that may or may not be true, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like fire systems going off without a fire, जो हमारा एक post था Linity पे, so that describes it quite
Mm-hmm.
accurately. It is also fire systems going off at a fire that is imagined, or the fire systems going off a little bit too loud and too much for a relatively small fire. So that's what anxiety does to you. वो आपको आपका proportion of problem बिगाड़ देती है बिल्कुल, right? You start thinking and then it's a negative thinking spiral. So you start thinking कि ये हो रहा है, इसका मतलब ये हो रहा है, and then you keep drawing very weird inferences जो अगर कोई बहुत logical, आप जब अपने normal state में होते हैं और आपसे कोई ये सारी बातें कहेगा, यू लाइक क्या बात कर रहा है भाई. बट दैट्स समथिंग दैट एंगजाइटी में काफ़ी कॉमन देखा जाता है. एज फॉर हम लोगों का वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, आई थिंक, सो आई ऑलवेज टेल दिस टू द पीपल अराउंड मी कि जब मुझे भूख लगती है तो मुझे नींद आती है, राइट. सो मुझे कभी भी पेट में भूख का एहसास नहीं होता. इट्स ऑलवेज ब्रेन फॉग फॉर मी एटलीस्ट. सो दैट इज़ समथिंग आई हैव लर्नड अबाउट माई सेल्फ. ये कोरिलेट है जो मैंने अपने लिए वो करा है. ज़रूरी नहीं कि ये सबके लिए हो. हो सकता है कुछ लोग बिल्कुल नॉर्मल रहते हों, उनको पेट में ही दर्द होना शुरू हो जाए भूख लगने में। तो इसी तरीके से आई थिंक कि जब भी मैं बर्न आउट के पास पहुंच रहा होता हूँ, तो देर आर अ फ्यू थिंग्स दैट स्टार्ट हैपनिंग टू मी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई स्टार्ट फीलिंग lethargic, right? Like I can push through it, and I do push through it on that particular day, but that also tells me ki it's probably time to, take maybe
Yeah.
a day off or something, right? The next day या फिर the next feasible day. तो इसी तरीके से you may have to develop your own correlates जो आपको ये बात बताएं कि you're being burnt out and probably need some more time. दूसरा, आई बिलीव इफ़ यू हैव एन iOS डिवाइस, तो उसके अंदर सबसे अच्छी चीज़ है डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब मोड. मेरा तो स्लीप पे चले जाता है 9 PM से ही फ़ोन. So उसके बाद all notifications are silenced. So if you call me after 9 PM and the phone gets disconnected, that was not me. I'm not mad at you. That was my phone.
I don't know who that message is for. Clearly not for me. So someone is trying to like clear off all the bad memories they've given to other people. I mean, I don't know, man. So if Samina Shad is watching this, please hi and see what he's doing again. I don't know what he's up to, man.
I'm a
So
nice guy. For the most part. Most part.
yeah. Yeah, but that actually helps me understand something very important. That is introspection, maybe. So if you're
Journaling.
not introspecting about yourself, you will never be able to understand your patterns. And maybe a large part of your mental health depends on knowing yourself and viewing yourself from the third perspective. This is something I learned from something I think Abdullah sent me by Y Combinator.
Hmm.
Uh, How to Win by Daniel Gross.
Yeah.
So it
Or,
goes around the concept of like saying like how you're, instead of saying that you're angry, feeling that understanding the fact that you're experiencing anger. So basically, dissociating yourself from the emotion is something that I thought was a great advice, which actually gets me through some tough days. Sometimes not, maybe. So then I use Abdullah's coupon code for Linity. As you can see, we are doing a lot of plugin marketing here.
Allah रहम
So,
करे.
so not to circle back to therapy yet again. So let's try to like go to the other spectrum. Like it's been very serious. So maybe not. We're talking so much about anxiety. Maybe people are thinking about what they're anxious about.
Yeah.
So
If you actually think about it, तुमने journaling का नाम लिया है. So I used to journal back in the past. अब मैं नहीं करता because alhamdulillah I have a sense of clarity थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा. Or maybe I say that I have trivialized outcomes and I'm not sure yet if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe we will know like a couple of years down the line, and either this video, this statement ages like fine wine, or it ages really really badly. All right. So what I do is कि I just say कि अच्छा ये हो जाए, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या हो सकता है, this can happen. I trivialize it बहुत ज़्यादा, perhaps a little bit more. And problem is not कि ये मेरे thought process में हो रहा है. Problem is when I voice it, because when I voice it, people really think that that is how trivial I take life to be. That is not true. I actually am on the other end of the spectrum. मैं बहुत seriously लेता हूँ चीज़ें. I then have to trivialize them actively ताकि वो बीच में आए. But you only hear the process. You don't know the reason behind the process. तो आपको लगता है कि मैं मजाक बना रहा हूँ हर चीज़ का, तो so it can give off the wrong signal sometimes.
yeah, I mean, we all try to rationalize our toxic coping mechanisms, but
क्या बोल दिया तुमने? If my mother finds out कि I am working, although I do not consider this work because this is being live streamed to YouTube, I wish मेरे सारे videos इसी तरीके से लाइव स्ट्रीम हो सकते. डू यू नो हाउ गुड माई लाइफ वुड बी अगर मेरा सारा काम ऐसे हो सकता. देयर वुड बी नो लेटेंसी इन्वॉल्व इन ऑल ऑफ देम. फ्रेंच किस. तो इफ माई मदर फाइंड्स आउट कि आई एम वर्किंग ऑन अ संडे की सुबह, शी इज़ गोना फ्लिप आउट बिकॉज शी इज़ रियली एंग्री एट मी. शी इज़ लाइक, टेक सम टाइम ऑफ, सिट.
yeah, I mean, it's a good question to start with. Why do our parents think that सब कुछ हो जाएगा and we can't? Because my mother keeps reassuring me कि तुम इतने परेशान क्यों रहते हो?
भाई सेम सेम एग्जैक्ट दिस कि तुम्हारी खुशी चली गई. माई मॉम कॉल्स मी अ रोबोट.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, but But like for me personally, I am just like always late on my deadlines. Apparently, Abdullah sent me a
नहीं
message few just like a bunch of minutes ago that इसे अपने reminders में add कर लो please.
नहीं
So
नहीं I try my best not to be late on mine. I try my absolute best not to be late on my deadlines. मतलब I
yeah,
sometimes am, but वो फिर वो थोड़ा मतलब गड़बड़ हो जाती है वहाँ पे, तो इसलिए I try my best कि ना हो.
I think I can divide my task into two types. One that I know what to do. Those tasks I complete on time. जहाँ पे
Research.
uncertainty comes into play, उसका time variable is out of my hand to to like even anticipate because I'm just like trying to navigate myself and it just makes me wonder zero x lol के बारे में बस.
So if you think about it, right, talking
Yeah.
about uncertainty, a lot of our viewers may not know this, but हमारी जो website है thelinity.com, it got deleted twice. ठीक है, एक बार वो गलती से बंद हो गया, उसका पता नहीं कौन सा प्लगइन क्रैश कर गया, इट जस्ट क्रैश, इट्स लाइक मैं तो नहीं काम कर रहा, कर लो जो करना है.
Yeah.
सो अरसलान गोज टू स्लीप इन द मॉर्निंग और मैं बीच में उसे इन द मिडिल ऑफ द नाइट टेक्स्ट कर रहा हूँ, फक यस चल गई. वो सुबह
Oh
उठता था
man.
एंड ही वुड जस्ट सी कि पता नहीं कैसे लेकिन हो गया है.
Yeah, so half of the time, this might be like an elaborated tech rant because half of the time we're not sure how we got things to work. So,
I don't know honestly.
yeah, so uh, just like if you're a CTO who's not looking for any liquidity in the company, there will be a link up here that will
कोई
help
लिंक
you
नहीं है
apply.
तो just please apply to us. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this or you know a psychologist who wishes to apply, you have any kind of special requests, or you just have any kind of suggestion for the platform, just hit us up at help@thelinity.com. That is HELP at thelinity, THELINITY.com. I feel like those Spotify podcasts.
I just want to say one thing. Like this reminds me, one of my favorite marketing moments in my life is naptol.com. Okay. And what I love about it is it takes like certain concepts like fear of missing out. So you'll always see those flashing messages के 200 यूनिट सोल्ड हो चुके हैं 5 यूनिट बचे हैं and it's all pre-recorded, it's not even live. So obviously वो units नहीं बिक चुके हैं, but people get into it. And one of my favorite moments particularly was this one time this anchor said like सोच रहे हैं मत सोचिए. You have to buy this app. So mental health is like exact opposite of napto.com. So as much as I want to encourage you guys to like go for therapy, at the same time I low-key wish you think like the naptol buyer.
Yeah.
So
सोच रहे हैं
you don't
लेनिटी के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, मत सोचिए अभी जाइए.
मत सोचिए अभी press
अभी
this buy book now
book
now
now,
button right
book
now
now,
right now.
click.
Yeah, but I mean this just reminds me like the whole point of us starting this specifically was to help educate our clientele. So
हाँ.
what we want to do is like me and Abdullah like specifically we want to guide you through the process of therapy. So we want you to know what to expect from therapists and not just like कि हाँ मेरा भी breakup हुआ था I know what you're feeling. Please no Abdullah can take this from here. No.
Yep, I mean थेरेपी के अंदर so there are two types of clients जो हमें सबसे ज़्यादा दिखते हैं. One is जिसको एक sense of clarity होता है about what they need to do, they just have problem with how to do it, right? उनके साथ therapy is a bit easier. The second ones are people who do not know what to do in the first place. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं वो clarity of thought ढूंढना आ रहा है कि वो करें क्या, right? एंड नाउ दैट आई हैव सेड इट, तो बहुत सारे लोग अपने आप को सेकंड कैटेगरी में गिनेंगे, दैट इज कि दे डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. बट इफ यू आर बीइंग ऑनेस्ट विद योरसेल्फ, इफ यू एक्चुअली जर्नल फॉर 7 days straight about the problem, chances are you're going to find the root cause of the problem. So and then following through with it, that's somewhere where the therapist enters in. So usually therapists do not give you solutions. They will not tell you कि चाय में ये कम हो रहा है पत्ती और ज़्यादा डाल दो. They will not give you like these ready-made kind of solutions. But what they can give to help you think a little bit is suggestions. Now this is a little bit controversial because when does a suggestion become too persuasive, right? So you want the person to actually come up with the solution on their own because well, you don't want to develop like a lifelong dependency.
Dependency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. वरना वो पता चला कि वो थेरेपिस्ट के बिना कुछ कर ही नहीं पा रहा है. We don't want that to happen with
Yeah.
our clients. We want them to
That's an Indian
properly.
parent, I guess. Therapist and Indian parent cannot be the same. No choice at all.
It reminds me, there's actually a concept like that in psychology. It's called the Oedipal mother. So the Oedipal mother, what does she do is that I will give you all the love in the world as long as you stay within my wing. So she won't let you go, right? So she's like मेरा राजा बेटा, ठीक है? Can you hear the cat?
Yes.
That's actually
Mera
a
Raja
dog.
Beta.
Yeah, मेरा राजा बेटा. So so basically that's what happens, and that's what the Oedipal mother does. And I think ये इंडिया के अंदर थोड़ा ज़्यादा कॉमन होता जा रहा है राजा बेटा वाला concept, which I personally think should not be, because until and unless you face adversities, I can say this from a male perspective, कि until and unless you face adversities, I don't think you डेवलप उस तरीके से जितना आप कर सकते हैं. नॉट सेइंग दैट आई एम वेरी डेवलप्ड, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग कि रिलेटिव टू योर पोटेंशियल यू वुड नॉट इवन बिगिन डेवलपिंग अगर एवरी टाइम यू हैव अ प्रॉब्लम देयर समबडी टू बेल यू, और एवरीबडी every time somebody critiques your work, you always have a comeback. Sometimes you even if you have a comeback, you just shut up and listen to the critique because perhaps it's coming from an experienced place.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to the Raja Beta debate, Raja Beta is amazing. Raja Beta gets the food he wants, at the place he wants, whenever he wants. But Raja Beta should understand this is not the ultimate reality.
Yep. ये तो वो लग रहा है कि पप्पू की आंखें
if you acknowledge Raja Beta syndrome while you are in it, you're fine. उसके बाहर निकलने की कोशिश करो. Don't beat yourself up. लेकिन to accept it and like stay in it might be not the best of ideas you've had. We don't want to be too persuasive, right? We're just blatantly saying you're not correct. So
one
I
way
mean,
to get cancelled, y'all. That's
yeah, but yeah, I think Raja Beta is a great concept and everyone should work away from it.
the Raja Beta is a good concept. Everybody should walk away from it.
No. Raja Beta exists here, me in the fire behind.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Everything is fine.
By the way, for those of you who are thinking कि अरसलान के पीछे अंधेरा क्यों है, मैं बोला था कि संडे मॉर्निंग हो रही है. अरसलान is currently in Canada. Arsalan, can you tell us why are you in Canada?
Yeah, I'm here for some research work, and before you assume it's for Linity, it's for the Weekend's concert. So, yeah, that's my favorite artist. We'd love to know your favorite artist. This is me trying to do engagement farming.
ये कितने honest हैं हम लोग यार. आपसे
Yeah.
honest founders नहीं मिलेंगे लोगों को.
The person who made the word CTA should also explain why is it so difficult to convince people to do an action.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe that's
giving
the
the
reason he
call
created
is
CTA.
important.
Maybe that's the reason he created CT in the first place, if you think about it.
Oh man, not thinking anymore. सोच रहे मत सोचिए.
सोच रहे
अभी
मत
सोचना
सोचिए. This is going to be.
You don't do that.
I am going to say this to everyone I meet. This is एक pensive mood में होगा, like they're actually thinking, like चेहरे पे दिख रहा है कि chicken विकन आ रही है माथे पे. I like सोच रहे मत सोचिए. मैं आपको बताता हूँ क्या करना है. नाप तोल प्रो मैक्स.
I mean, I'd like to tell here something. Abdullah knows it apparently, but I picked it up from Clubhouse. There's this term called Illa Billa Gorilla. Whenever I find myself in a tricky spot, I just say Illa Billa Gorilla and move past it. So a lot of time Abdullah has like tricky founder to founder questions, like how can we convert leads. How can we generate more leads?
अच्छा नहीं
It's like illa gorilla. Abdullah, we can't do anything about it. We just gotta wait it out, man.
देखो the thing is कि I know nothing about a business as you may have noticed from my demeanor. Arsalan knows a lot about it. So whenever I come up to him like a बच्चा and I'm like ये सुनना भाई ये करते हैं and Arsalan is like my dear child how gravely you are mistaken. So it's just that.
I mean, yeah, I think one thing I've learned is like the hardest part in any business is to get conversion and adoption. खास तरह से सबसे tricky is the early adoption. So I was looking into how to get your first 100 customers, how to get your first 10 customers, and just looking out more what worked for people, what did not work. So a big challenge specifically to us here is like that a lot of the people who initially take your service are people around you. Okay, so that can be people from my circle or a less circle. That's the one thing that I found, like referral, word of mouth marketing. Those are the simplest ones that get you initial customers. And whenever I take a simple business concept, there comes one crashing concept from my business that's called mental health, and it changes it all. So suddenly the normal rules are not applicable because it's mental health, right? So your close friends don't want you to know what their mental health is like right now. Maybe they feel insecure. It's fine to feel that way. I mean, I would never want to go to a friend and tell him like I'm having a lot of anxiety because some XYZ thing happened to me. So it makes me wonder who will be our first 100 customers. So basically, we've got a coupon code for that. So, it's called like first 50, I think.
Yes.
And that's like for the first 50 customers. So if you want to be the first in the first 50, I mean, we've never announced swags before, but we might send you that. So, yeah, I mean, definitely go for it and let us know how you feel. Allow us to serve you.
So we have
And
got
yeah,
we have got 2 likes on the stream and one comment and सारे का comment आया I volunteer as a witness down the line. Now I'm not sure हमने ऐसे क्या बोला है. He's asking to be like a volunteer as a witness down the line.
I think it's about you. The part where you say you'll age like a fine wine.
Oh,
So
yeah, probably. So इसके सिर्फ दो रास्ते हैं. Yeah, either you go very high with this or you go very down. So it's like a gamble or before I realized the consequences मैंने पासा फेंक दिया है. The die has been cast.
yeah, I mean, the whole point of being on YouTube is to like maybe even if nothing works out, I hope not everything works out. I mean, but I want to look back and see where Abdullah and I went wrong when it came to mental health. So, I mean,
It all
this is like
it all started back in 2004. I was a kid back then, but I
yeah, you didn't start preparing for ITJE.
I
So,
swear.
do we want to talk about like almost a doctor syndrome and almost?
The number of people who take up
Oh man,
psychology after their biology, right? मतलब उनको bio था, then they wanted to go. There are two types of people. They want to go to NEET, उनको नहीं करना है NEET. तुम्हें पता है कौन से लोग NEET देते हैं? दोनों. So they are both giving NEET.
yeah,
जिनको करना है
yeah,
जिनको नहीं करना है. जिनको करना है इनके अंदर दो कैटेगरीज फिर से हैं. इन वालों को सच में करना है, इन वालों को बस सोसाइटल प्रेशर है. ये लोग फॉल्स सिंड्रोम में रह रहे हैं. इन लोगों को पता है इनको नहीं
okay,
करना है. ठीक है. सबसे आसान होता है इन लोगों का लाइन पे आना बिकॉज इन देयर लाइक कि इल्ला बिल्ला गोरिल्ला फट. ठीक है ऑफ.
okay,
ठीक है.
okay.
दीज गाइज इन लोगों को अपने आप को डिस्कवर करना पड़ता है और ये वाले लगे रहते हैं और फिर शायद क्रैक भी कर लेते हैं. राइट. ट्रेजेडी हैपेंस जब इन वालों में से या जिन लोगों को फॉल्स सिंड्रोम है इन वालों का नीट में हो जाता है.
Okay.
And then it is a bigger problem because now you have thrusted yourself into an identity crisis.
Oh man, I just want to say this whole explanation makes me just wonder one thing. If Byju's is watching this video by any chance, you see how we are struggling with our hands in this. Can we have like those fancy illustration tools that you have, like that go like pyramid explodes in?
अरे
Can we get some plugin for that so that Abdullah doesn't do this in the camera?
Fleming's left hand rule, Fleming's right hand rule, it's all just gang signs.
Oh man, I mean, let's not go to 12th class. I mean,
12th class के बाद
it was
अरसलान.
called laugh my anxiety off, not let my anxiety crawl back in.
Oh man.
So 12th class is off
ओ
bounds.
बाय द वे,
So
अगर कोई यहाँ पे 10th वेंथ का बच्चा है, कोई 12th का देख रहा है ना यहाँ पे, भाई टेंशन मत लेना बिल्कुल भी. बैचलर्स की भी हो तो टेंशन मत लेना, मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ. स्ट्रेस मत लेना. लाइफ इज ऑल अबाउट गैम्बलिंग, डिजेनरेट गैम्बलिंग. सो जस्ट गैम्बल योर लाइफ अवे इन द राइट डायरेक्शन.
court piece या bluff. I mean,
Sworn
what
off.
blackjack? I mean, I don't get you. It's like which one makes prediction markets?
नहीं भाई, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि यार, don't take it very seriously. Chances are the reason you're not taking steps is because you're very very scared of what the public opinion might be. And you know, there comes a point in your life जहाँ पे, I don't know, when you win and people don't congratulate you, और वो बहुत weird लगता है. Because a lot of the times जिन लोगों के डिसअप्रूवल से बचने के लिए आपने वो काम किया होता है ना, वो आपको आके कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट भी नहीं करते जब आपने वो चीज़ अचीव कर ली होती है. सो देन यू स्टार्ट टू वंडर कि डज दिस पर्सन रियली केयर अबाउट मी. एंड देन यू नो, वो टिकटॉक पे बहुत ज़्यादा चला था, क्या कहते हैं, मेन कैरेक्टर सिंड्रोम था क्या, स्पॉटलाइट सिंड्रोम था और समथिंग. बट it's just people thinking that people are noticing them all the time. But I know for a fact you are probably watching this as an entertainment, then you will go back to your shitty life and I'll go back to your shitty life of mine. But you know, I would think कि you know, this podcast will forever be etched in people's memory. I really hope it is, only the good parts at least. But ऐसा होने के chances बहुत कम है, and the realization of that really kind of liberates you because it allows you to think freely, it allows you to make mistakes. So I think that is very important. The ability to make mistakes is very important.
I mean, there are people who'll say a lot of stuff. Like everyone wants the next entrepreneur and the next author and the next cricketer in their neighbor's house. They don't want it in their house.
Yeah.
So because everyone wants to do the risk aversion, you know. They want to take the easiest path out there, the most predicted path out there. But in life, I think you realize that you're the one who knows the path best, so you're the best person to decide, and it's easier to let yourself decide. Raja Beta makes sense if you're eating food. Raja Beta does not make sense if your boss is abusing you. So
And it's also a sense of कि your parents do not always know best, right? And I think you know, the old example of how Freud said that no man can be a man unless his father is dead, and Carl Jung then added that that death can be symbolical, right? So basically, you have to kind of grow out of the superhero phase of the parents. कि they know everything and they know everything best. You may have to go against them in the short term, कभी कभी, and you know, then you have to like properly pursue it. And don't come up to me and say कि मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा मैं properly pursue. You know it. You know how much effort you're putting. You can't lie to yourself. You know how much time you waste on your phone. Like if you actually check your screen time, तो पता लग जाएगा. So there is enough you know, time in the day. You're spending 7. अरे नहीं, but you have your work as well, right?
yeah,
Oh,
let's just say.
but speaking of work, while in Canada, did you take like some days off? I hope you did.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, last week I took a day off.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I mean, I took a day off today, and
Today was your day off?
so
You're recording
yeah.
this. How is it a day off?
Yeah, it's a day off. That's a, if I'm not actively working, so it's a day off. If I'm not actively worrying about working, it's a day off. Backlogs exist. I've come to this realization. I'm not Abdullah, so backlogs can wait for a while, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that it's really important for anyone to at least believe in themselves, because it's like important factor when you try to move forward. I think that's what kept me going. And you know, once you build up that confidence, rest of the things follow. Like your health pattern, it's like one thing leads to other, and then you're getting fit the other day, so your self image improves. and rest of the things. But talking about parents, I think that a large part of parents also need therapy. So if you're looking for something like a coupon code for your parents, specifically Mr. Patel 50. So just write to us, and we'll make sure we email your parents that your son thinks that you guys need therapy. So, and if you want it to be completely anonymous, we can do that too. You just have to
Yeah.
like give us the email.
You know,
Like,
it's more
Mr.
like
Patel, you've won a 50% off on your therapy.
wow.
Toxic.
And if you tell them कि उनके खुद के बेटे ने भेजा, then that guy might need an accommodation soon as well. Linity housing कब आ रही है अरसलान?
Yeah, diversifying is something important. That's what Shark Tank season one taught us, right? Are we Shark Tank season one founders? No, we started before that.
Yes.
If we are successful, we were not inspired by it. So
Yes, exactly. ये बात सब समझ लें. हम लोगों ने ये स्टार्ट किया था because one day I came to अरसलान अगस्त 2021 में and I said यार मैं बड़ा हो जाऊंगा तो मैं क्लिनिकल थेरेपिस्ट बनूंगा because that will give me some sort of independence. अरसलान was like तुझे तब वरी करने की क्या ज़रूरत है, तू आज ही से स्ट्रेस ले. And then we started it.
I was like, why build an ecosystem later when we can
Oh,
become a content
and
generation
by the way,
generating machine?
since we are ranting, ठीक है, let me tell this to every psychology वाला out there, ठीक है, जो अपने bachelors में इस वक्त. Clinical therapy या clinical counseling is a lot different from what you imagine it to be, ठीक है, especially if you're a guy. If you're a guy, your empathy levels are not already not very high, and this is like a personality trait difference जो gender differences के अंदर है. Guys do find it hard to emote a little bit. You can make the case कि emotive guys come into psychology, but generally we have a harder time just kind of showing warmth बहुत आराम से to other people. So if you're a male psychotherapist, first of all, big props to you. It is hard. It is extremely hard. Space is largely female dominated. But other than that, uh, maybe you will come here into psychology पूरा mind बना के कि मैं clinical में जाऊँगा, because ये मेरी class के अंदर होता है in masters के अंदर. A lot of the guys they did किसी type की observership and they realized कि yeah clinical is not cut for them. So for them there is the organizational aspect of it. So they went into organizational psychology, which was good as well for them, for their competitive nature. Yeah, it makes you a lot of money, and clinical does as well, but it's more about just being able to relate with people and having the patience to sit with them, right? It's just that usually men के लिए थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो जाती है वहाँ पे. So if you're a guy who's pursuing psychology, so definitely think about this aspect as well. I always suggest people कि एक psychologist के साथ जाके ना observership कर लो. लाइक आप 16-17 साल के भी 11th-12th में भी अगर आपने साइकोलॉजी ले रखी, इट्स नेवर अ बैड थिंग टू जस्ट गो एंड सिट फॉर अ डे. जस्ट वन डे में तुम्हें समझ में आ जाएगा दिस इज समथिंग यू कैन डू वर्सेस दिस इज समथिंग यू वांट टू डू. ठीक, you're only one decision away from changing your life. Everybody say with me, I will go to therapy. सोच रहे सोचिए मत.
Never. Suicide is never an option. But just right off my head, like we were talking about organizational psychology, and it just popped in my head. Abdullah, you need to do that dance. My money don't jiggle with organizational psychology written on it. It folds.
How do you do that? I think it goes a little bit like
No, not right now. Please don't traumatize users. They've already been through enough.
That is true.
So, the specs are like his mode of transport. It's like back to Freud.
Wild Abdullah, normal Abdullah. Wild Abdullah.
Sando Abdullah, non Sando Abdullah.
यार प्लीज वॉच इंट्रोडक्शन. मैं फारिश शफी में ज़्यादा नहीं प्रमोट कर सकता हूँ, मुझे पैसा नहीं दे रहा वो इंसान.
There's like only two themes to this video. One is Sando, second is therapy.
सेकंड इज हमसे थेरेपी लो, हम कूपन कोड बना के देंगे आपके बाप को.
I think one might say in like 15 days down the line, someone might be watching this video. I think the only thing these guys made was like a coupon generator. All they keep offering is, हम आपके लिए इस चीज का कूपन बना देंगे, इस चीज का कूपन बना देंगे. It's like for like at least if you're from my city, I come from Aligarh. Kachori is really famous. Kachori 50. It's like kachori ka kachori therapy.
कचौड़ी, शेरू की चाय, everything. So अरे यार Arsalan, I actually had to ask you, how does it feel like to be from Aligarh, वहाँ से Canada जाना. So
Yeah.
what was the shift like? What's the biggest difference you have noticed in terms of the people?
I think the amazing part about, so I'm in Waterloo in Canada, so it has a lot of Indian people here. So I always hear people talking in Hindi here and there. So that is kind of different. You don't expect that because I've been to US and the first thing that I observed was uh, जो जूते का सोल होता है वो white होता है ना. तो इंडिया में it does not make sense to be white. यूएस में it does. वहां पे कीचड़ नहीं थी. मेरा मेरा जूता फर्स्ट ही गंदा हो जाता है यार. So how am I supposed to wear it? I'm like, इनके जूते तो साफ कैसे हैं यार? And I just look at my shoes. I'm like, यार ये तो नए थे यार, ये तो गंदे हो गए. So it's like it's super funny. मतलब one might compare me to some
Side
weird
beat.
weird person, but yeah, that's what I noticed. But Canada is nice.
You said you picked
It's good.
strawberries as well. What were you doing picking
Sorry.
strawberries?
Oh yeah, I think it was like one of the activities that was around. It's like a lot of farmers markets are here, so I was exploring their hook model so that I can build a hook model later on. So they thought, okay, let them pick their own strawberries, and it comes with the clause that you don't eat the strawberries while you're picking them. But I'm sure they won't know that. They actually kind of want some sort of self governance that we hope you don't eat them on the way. But I mean,
देखो,
yeah, it was fun.
if you think about it, they're retaining you as a customer hopefully, because if you eat them, then you're like, these are good, and probably जिस तरीके से the West is set up, probably people won't like to put in उस type का effort again just to eat the strawberry, so they'll just buy it.
I think if I compare it to normal buying a strawberry, I think that uh, all of the founders want the customers to be invested in the business.
Yeah,
So
it's
अगर
a
मैं
good
अपने
point.
हाथ से उन्हें pick कर रहा हूँ, I will not be so critical about them.
Yeah.
Like मैंने इसमें मेहनत करी है. So that is why we have a pre-therapy for it.
तुम अगर एक टाइम से सोचोगे, सिजान बुराक को जानते हो? आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ आई एम प्रोनाउंसिंग हिज नेम राइट. द टर्किश गाय जो मतलब खाने वाने बनाता है, ब्रेड पे बहुत ज़्यादा नाम वाम लिखता है, क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो का लिखा था उसने. वो इज़ अ वेरी फेमस गाय. सो दुबई
Okay,
के
go
अंदर है,
ahead.
इज़ अ टर्किश गाय. सो व्हाट ही डज इज़ दैट वो यूजुअली अपने गेस्ट से ही मतलब वो पतीला तीला पलटवाना, तोड़ना, वो कहते हैं पॉट, वो सब उन्हीं से करवाता है. एंड द आइडिया
Mhm.
बिहाइंड दैट इज़ कि दे फील लाइक दे वर अ पार्ट ऑफ इट.
Yeah,
Right.
being inclusive is something very
Like
important.
Rolls Royce, they ask you, they
Mhm.
basically can make your car's color to anything. So they
Mhm.
actually offer you a service जहाँ पे I guess chemical chromatography के through they would be able to turn your car का color into anything's color that you already own. So for example, अगर आपको dog के fur का color बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है, they would be like, just get us like one बाल वहाँ से, or we'll come and we'll scan it for you or something like that. And then they take you through the entire process कि roof कैसी होनी चाहिए, ये कैसा होना चाहिए. So they personalize it to a very heavy extent. Although I'm not sure if that is something that we can do with therapy. Like क्या करेंगे, अपने ऊपर खुद थेरेपी दीजिए. जैसे मुझे तेरी ज़रूरत क्या है तेरी.
I think therapy is more like a journey. That is my understanding of it.
Yeah.
And like uh, the first steps are definitely difficult. And that is why I'm also like patient with the sales for our platform because I know it will take time for people to take those first steps. But uh, I think to understand what drives that decision to go for therapy is something really important.
Hmm.
And that is the educational gap that we want to fulfill.
Yeah.
That why and when to go for therapy, right? So, and where to go for therapy, definitely. So, Abdullah and I personally believe that if our platform is not suited for you, we'll be happy to help you find therapy somewhere else. Whatever platform you choose, you want to just come to us for advice. Like, is this is a psychologist right next to my house? Is it good enough? Abdullah would be ready to help you out of that. So, I think that exploring the options is something very important and kind of reminds me that that's why we have like multiple duration sessions on our platform. We have like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you can afford, whatever makes you think that it's the right choice. So I think it's it is must to try it out because I think that हम जिस फेज से निकले हैं the whole COVID-19 your mental health is probably on a toll by your own thoughts and your aspirations and the partying that you've missed and it might take you to weird places in future. So I mean just to like introspect and look back retrospect में कि मतलब क्या what is there, do you have any unhealthy patterns you want to rule them out? So definitely that is something that we want to do. But yeah,
आई
anxiety.
आई थिंक
That
कोविड के अंदर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, आई नो आई सेड कि मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा बट अब ले ही लिया तो क्या ही जा रहा है, बट उसके अंदर आई बिलीव अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल थे रिप्रेस्ड इतना स्ट्रांगली वट एवर देवर फीलिंग, क्योंकि कोई सुनने वाला ही नहीं था, बिकॉज सबके घर में कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा था. एंड आई वॉज सच अ पेनफुल थिंग टू सी कि वन ऑफ माई फ्रेंड हु वॉज इन्वॉल्व विद ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स, अलीगढ़ के पास कौन सी जगह थी यार जहाँ से आ रहे थे?
I have no
तो
clue.
अलीगढ़ के पास देयर इज लाइक अ कहते हैं प्लांट और समथिंग, जहाँ से वो सारे ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स ला रहे थे.
Java,
जवा नहीं, आई गेस कोई और जगह थी, कासिमपुर था आई गेस. तो वहाँ से,
Kasimpur, right,
या
Kasimpur, right.
राइट, सो वहाँ से वो लोग ला रहे थे एंड दिस गाय हिज ओन फादर passes away. This guy is back at it 6 hours later. He's like ऑक्सीजन कौन पहुँचाएगा? That guy suppressed it पूरा. I don't think he's ever talked about his father कभी भी, but you can see it on his face कि he just doesn't smile anymore. Like मैंने उससे 2-3 बार बोला भी, like यार अब तो बहुत टाइम हो गया, अब क्या ही फ़ायदा उसके बारे में बात करके. बट दैट्स समथिंग आई एक्चुअली एडवोकेट अगेंस्ट, बिकॉज इट्स वही वाली बात है ना, अब तो आंखें ख़राब हो गई, क्या फ़ायदा चश्मा पहनने का? नहीं. सो इफ़ यू कैन फिक्स इट, it's always better to fix it. Otherwise living life like this, it's just like living a very low resolution life. You will go through life, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बट वही है ना कि आप नज़ले के अंदर अच्छा खाना भी खा लें, उसका स्वाद नहीं आएगा आपको.
The food has made the entry. So Nazla and food. So definitely we should talk about food sometime.
Yeah.
We should get some guests to talk about food sometime. Abdullah will say whey protein. I will say shawarma. That's how we're different.
Yeah,
So
we're like two different ends on terms of food. But yeah, this has
yeah,
already gone on for 1 hour, and to think कि हम लोग इससे पहले बहुत ज़्यादा conflicted थे कि हम बात क्या करेंगे.
I think we explored some themes. The Raja Beta syndrome was my favorite.
Yeah,
So
thumbs up for Raja
just
Beta
just
syndrome.
waiting for more people to adopt me as the Raja Beta. Can I be a Raja Beta?
sugar son.
Yeah, just kidding. Like, please take therapy. XYZ50 code, which will do a random code generator. So we have Mehak in our team. He's like a super tech guy. We'll just ask him, can you do a random code generator? It's like, what
मैं
do you
ये
want to
वीडियो
get
देखेगा,
famous for?
मैं
Generating
वीडियो
coupons.
देखेगा, मैं क्विट कर रहा है, तुम लोग जाओ यहाँ से, जिंदगी बर्बाद हो
Yeah.
गई मेरी.
We should get Mehak on one of these videos as well.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
will.
Mehak, what do you think about us? Mehak,
What do you think
the
about this? Don't feel pressure to answer anything nice, लेकिन हाँ तुम फायर कर दिए जाओगे अगर तुमने गलत जवाब दिया तो.
Yeah, Mehak is like super fancy.
OG
He's
Mac.
doing this 50-day challenge on LinkedIn. You guys should check it out. I'm the only one who likes it on LinkedIn. So
अब मैं जाके देखूंगा,
we
मैंने
need
देखा
we
नहीं था.
need more traction there.
हाँ.
Traction for Mehak.
अरे
Traction
लिंक्डइन
for
पे मुझे
Mehak.
पोस्ट
Like,
डालनी थी आज यार, अच्छा याद दिलाया तुमने यूनिटी के अकाउंट से. एनीवे गाइस, आई विल नॉट वेस्ट क्या कहते हैं एनी मोर ऑफ योर टाइम. यू, आई गेस, आई होप यू हैव एंजॉयड. लाइक, सब्सक्राइब, लीव अ कमेंट, एंड यू नो, अरसलान की आंखों के वास्ते सब लोग इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें. दैट्स व्हाट आई लीव इट एट दैट.
oh man, what do you mean by मेरी आंखें?